Welcome to the BeyondBitcoin Whaletank. Be sure to follow the BeyondBitcoin tag on Steemit, as well as our Hangout host official Fuzzy for the latest Whaletank updates. To participate in the discussion, simply find a weekly Whaletank RSVP post and RSVP with a topic or proposal in the comments. Whale shares create synergy between Bitshares and Steem by rewarding developers and helpful community members. The Whaletank has already distributed over $70,000 in upvotes during its first month. You can also create and trade your own cryptographically secure whale tokens and get an automatic seat in the Whale Council. Whale shares work for the chain based on votes by the community. If you're interested in becoming a founding member of the Whale Council, let us know by sending an email to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com with the subject Whale Council. Be on the lookout for our new forums coming soon.
Welcome everyone to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. Today is Saturday, October 21st, 2017, and this is Hangout number 229. Today we'll be talking about various projects related in the cryptosphere, and each of these projects have beforehand registered on the official posting for topics that they'd like to propose and discuss. And the ones that are selected based on various factors that I'll discuss in a moment, we will then go through in order. Each of those presenters have 15 minutes to discuss their project or topic, but they also have power-ups if they have tokens on Bitshares and provide the link in their reservation. One of these power-ups, the first one, is a token on Bitshares will double their voting order for the reservation and giving that project a higher chance of being first in line. A second possible power-up is if the token can be used to buy time by share dropping on the guest list. And then 3, those with a token on the Bitshares DEX also have a chance to win 1,000 Beyond Bits, and that's up to the selection by Fuzzy, who is unavailable today due to technical problems. So our sequence of projects that we'll be discussing today are the Whaletank Transcription and Translation Service. The second project will be SKILLCoin. The third project will be by sirlunch regarding various topics that he's working on. And then the fourth project will be Project BuildAWhale. So for our first topic, Whaletank Transcription and Translation Service, we will have here joining us Chucky today. Are you available?
Hey guys, I'm here. Okay, so how you guys doing? First of all, I wanted to talk a bit about what we've been working on with Nutela and Alex P. Morris on the back end. Pretty much we've been trying to get a workflow going of some sort because, as most of you know, and I've already pointed out in various other Hangouts, the fact that this is really time-consuming. We've been trying to find the best way and the most comfortable way for all of us to get things down in a timely manner, right? So if you can see the last post by Alex P. Morris, you'll see the different workflows that we've been using. We just linked it in the chat. He has his workflow, which is pretty nice and smooth. I have my own, and Nutela has his own, right? So we've been trying to work together to find a way that we can get this a bit more organized, a bit more working better, in a timely manner as far as the transcriptions go. We've also been working on different interactive transcripts as well as slides and different chapters in the transcriptions. We've been working mainly on that, and what we want to do and now is get this workflow going. Once this workflow starts rolling and we get it nice and neat, we're going to start having more content be able to get transcribed. As far as translations go, I've actually kind of left this out for the transcription team because, it does go hand to hand, but unfortunately it's not working the way we wanted it to. So we've been discussing something lately with Oppenheimer. He's the guy that does the translations with me. We're planning on releasing a barrier coin. Barrier coin is a coin that is going to be on the Bitshares DEX, and it's going to be exchangeable for translations into different languages. So what we basically want to do is hand these out to different people on the Whaletank, as well as the Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. And once we have these tokens handed out, these people can exchange these tokens they can give these tokens to different translators that have different languages set to them. And once the tokens are received, the translator will start working on a post. The post will be handed back to the person so they can do as they please with the post. And we can have, in exchange for the translator's work, we can give them these barrier coins. So I'm going to hand the mic on over to Nutela to take you around.
Hey guys, I wasn't Sure, you started without me. No, but I thought we were going to be second. But anyway, I wrote ICO. Okay, let's start with that because Chucky can do the coins for the translations. I was actually thinking to team up with Alex Morris. And those assumptions again, Alex. Hey, well, let's talk about that, right? So Alex is into, he just caught the itch, and he went on to make SRT to VTT, a Java program to mix and merge the subtitles and stuff. And so when we were investigating, I found some Python programs which could like cut the video according to what is being said. You know, each subtitle has a start and end time, right? So if you could narrow it down to having this for each word, you know, the start and stop time, you could like edit those words out, just delete them, and then say, oh, just keep what's there, right? And but the crucial thing, which Alex seems to be overlooking, is that the aligner. He did mention it in his latest post. So the aligner, what it does, it looks at a transcript without any time codes, and it will align. It will find the next word and try to match it up with the next word in the audio, or vice versa, right? So it will look if there is a word, it recognizes, it aligns that to that, and goes on, right? So it's easier than guessing from scratch, which the speech-to-text system does. I envisioned it could be so great, and Alex is really into it too. We should do an ICO to get some more funding, because this is a lot of work, and you know, Beyond Bits are nice, but for like documenting. But this will take a lot more work, and I think it could be a great product, maybe a great product on iOS too, because it can be a web app. You could upload your tracks, and it would just make a transcript for you, which you could edit. You know, it would be interactive, and you could just delete some of the words, you know, by clicking in some text box or anything. And it could recut the audio, mix it, and whatever you'd need, right? Alex wrote like, and I will let you talk if you can, Alex, right? So if we use those aligners, we don't have to complicate things, right? Because the aligners will always find, even if we cut some audio, where the time should be, right? And I'm not sure if we have to mix it first, or if we can have it separately, but I think maybe it will juggle up things if we cut it from separate tracks. But I think if we mix it, then we have like this overview, you know, envision like seeing your text, clicking play, and it will just mark what's being said right now, bold, right? So every word you see in front of you, and then you see like, hey, this is some gobbledygook. Fuzzy is trying to make up his mind, and it's like kind of being incomprehensible, right? You say, hey, well, let's just delete that, and you just do that, and it will delete the audio as well. So with that said, maybe Alex, you want to say something?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Nutella. Just wanted to go through a few things. You know, I had to take a step back and try and sort of rethink this whole workflow. And in the meantime, in the process, you know, I created a bunch of new tools, and granted, there's a lot of great stuff out there, a lot of cool stuff. But you know, one thing that kind of kept sticking out here is we're trying to do multilingual translations. So, you know, we're starting with a source from Mumble here with an individual track for each speaker. And, you know, a lot of these issues I sort of kind of saw coming early on, and it seems like we keep hitting them, even going into this whole like word by word alignment now. It's like we're using all this sophisticated technology, but at the end of the day, I mean, why aren't we starting right off the get-go using a multi-track editor, audio editor? We can literally lay out each track, you know, side by side. Any noise or any other stuff that you don't like, we just cut out all at once. And then recombine that. You export them individually, then you upload them to YouTube, each individual track. But at that point, all the garbage, all the coughs, all the ums and you knows, and I won't lie to you, you know, whatever else you have in there that you want to cut out, and the ironicallys, well, you can cut them all out. And then we send them to, you know, individually to YouTube. But at that point, you have the perfect, you'll get the captioning you want. YouTube also makes amazing translations for like any number of languages. It's really amazing. And actually, they'll also go down. If you still want it at that point, if you even need it, they actually do the word by word alignment also. And my program can splice that out and put it into a word by word caption file as well. So if you still decide afterwards to edit, you can, you know, do that as well. And there's additional tools that I've described on how to accomplish that also. But in the basic form, even if you did that after the fact, you're still stuck where you'd have to do that separately for each language. That's why you want to clean up the garbage as early as possible, and using a multi-track editor, and I've listed a few that I believe can do it pretty easily, open source, that solves a lot of the problem right off the bat. Tella, you want to add something?
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem, because if you use a liner, you do the workflow, you do everything for English, and then when everything is done, you can do the translations and just swap those English words for the translated ones, or do you think?
No, because if you have looking at each word separately, a translator doesn't even work so well. And why would you want to do it at that stage when you can clean it up right at the beginning? Because that means technically, like if Chucky's working on Spanish, you're working on English, well, that means you both have to repeat the whole workflow. If one person cleaned it up at the beginning, you're both working with the same pristine sample for every speaker. You still maintain that, individual speaker integrity. Now, here's the other thing. There's actually tools out there, and I listed a bunch of them. Now, I don't know how well they work so far, but from some of the things I saw, they're not bad if you get the proper models behind it. But technically, you can even take the entire feed, and let's say we did a show on YouTube Live or something. You could actually pass the YouTube feed in there and then still recover the individual speakers that way, so even that can be incorporated. But, if you want to still, for whatever reason, and maybe you could still clarify that for me, even if you do want to go that way, between the YouTube word by word and that gentle program that I talked about. I mean, that one was amazing. Now, granted, it's on that sample that I included. So, just like anything else, caveat emptor, it might not work on every other sample as nearly as well. But if you look at the YouTube videos, generally, most of them, when you don't mess with the captions, it's doing already word by word. It puts one word at a time. It doesn't do like the normal 2 lines. And what's interesting is I can access that by exporting as a web VTT, but if I uploaded the same file back to YouTube, it wouldn't work. So it looks like they don't even have their own workflow down. They can give it to me, but they can't take it back, and they sort of screw it up when you re-upload. But show the example, I'll post it here, but it's also in my post. If you compare English, which is like how my program separated the words out, versus the YouTube version, you'll see how what an amazing job YouTube itself is doing with the caption. So that's why I keep saying, and going back to, why not just give YouTube the best possible edit right from the start, and then that applies across any language you want to translate to, because literally you go in, create a new language in YouTube, it'll pre-translate that for you, and then you can export that and then make it even better.
If I can jump right in, because I have just 2 minutes or something. Yeah, we can test it, right? I think we can test the multi-track. What I was thinking, if you have an aligner and you have the speech to text, you can just filter out just what's being said, and then you have no issues with it identifying noise. Because at best would be if we would have tags for noise as well, right? Like YouTube does with music and stuff like that. But I don't think we can get that yet. And
they don't tune out the noise that way. They have nothing to do with that. That's one more reason I say to pre-filter it right from the beginning, because you can actually filter out noise across the entire track. You can use programs. I used to do this for our YouTube videos all the time. I mean, there's some great programs out there, and literally, like, you can go through and do a noise sample of a cough. And I could, in one, even an and in one shot, I can go over the entire video and remove that. But that's not going to show up even as a caption, like if, just a quick cough or something. Most of them will just actually skip over or include it. But, why deal with that after the fact, especially with each language? And here's the other thing. If you use an aligner, it won't even work for multiple languages. So how are you going to deal with that?
No,
it's like that's the old joke with like the Japanese, like, you want to fight, fight me, and it's like, and then they're still going on with the lips for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, well,
hey, fellas, we've got 1 minute left. Do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, we're just going to test it, and I think we should do the ICO. What do you think, Alex? Like, have some money to properly develop this, because this could be like a big thing.
That I can't comment on. I mean, I haven't really been involved in that, and that's a whole nother issue. So I won't even try and touch on that. Certainly not right now.
Well, you have done a lot of work, and I think it will take some work as well, to integrate all those tools.
Well, Fuzzy's my muse for all that, so I'll have to deflect and defer to him for that.
Okay. Then let's wrap it up with that. We can take it in the after party and whatever. So yeah, that's what's coming to stores.
Thanks very much, guys. By any chance, do you want to extend your time by share dropping?
We could. I mean, we can do some Nutella tokens afterward. I don't care. Oh, no one says anything, okay. So we have to go on, right?
Thanks very much for discussing the topic, and good luck also on the ICO. And I'm interested also in the barrier coin idea. I think it'll be, well, I'm going to drop my question because I think we're over time, but I appreciate it. So for our next topic and project, we have SKILLCoin. Do we have Bam Bam here?
Yep, I am here.
Welcome. Can you please go ahead?
I have been in here a few weeks back to back, firstly describing SKILLCoin and the creation of it, and then, jumping in and talking about, pairing it with the NinjaWhale and how that's all going, the tokenization of that project. Here I'm just kind of back for another update, and just basically we're still heavily pushing to find delegation. We have been able to pick up small parts here and there from different people, so we've been able to get it to where it is now profitable. I believe we've got about 15 to 20K delegated from a bunch of different, smaller people, I would say, 2,000 to 3,000 from a few different people. But we're still looking for that big whale to hopefully delegate. We've been looking at Minnow Booster and talking to them, but they have quite high rates. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about, was just basically that SKILLCoins are now up and running. I've been having a few people send them in, but feel free to send them in. I can drop a link here that kind of breaks them down for you, but they are up and working. So I look forward to seeing people start sending them in and being able to actually send them out, knowing that they're going to be helping people. As we get more and more delegation, it'll just be more and more of a assistance to people.
Cool, and I'll go ahead and post the link within the chat.
Right on, thank you. I just noticed SPP. So yeah, there's actually, as far as the Steemit's Got Talent, we've got a huge thing going on Monday. We start the first round of the eliminations. So that's going to be kind of an exciting and a big endeavor for people. Basically, I'm rounding up the 10 first place winners from all the 10 weeks for the open qualifiers. And they will all kind of face off randomly, 1 versus 1, and until there's the final SGT champion. I'm looking forward to that. We've got a good little crew of judges, so I think it's going to be a really interesting end to the season 1.
Can you remind me, what's the duration and when does it wrap up?
I believe it goes for another 4 to 5 rounds. And then it will, of course, be down to that last person who gets, a good chunk of prizes and actually a custom-made piece of apparel that I'll be shipping out, working with them to see, if they want their name on it or what, and then shipping it out. They'll be the one in a few billion that have that.
Neat, thanks.
And then as far as the, GSG, that's just kind of going as it goes. We do small updates here and there, but working on just growing the community mainly right now. And pushing the SKILLCoin, getting that up to par. I have a few other announcements, but I can't necessarily let those out the bag yet. But I noticed Compound mentioned about the big radio station. I've got something in the works as well with a token that will be, I'll be hosting their radio show that'll be streamed to over 500K supposed followers. So that'll be pretty interesting, but I can't necessarily get into that just yet.
I look forward to hearing more about that when you can.
Sounds good. It'll be, I'm really excited for it. We're just kind of waiting until we got it, up and running and have done the testing and everything like that. We're trying to implement a few things that we're trying to figure out because we think those will kind of change the radio hosting game.
Hey, do you see Fuzzy's questions?
Yeah, I just saw that. As far as the value prop, I would say that now as we get more and more delegation, the value prop is that you actually get a decent upvote with the entire trail. So you may get, for 100 SKILLCoins, you may get $1 and, 40 to 50 upvotes. So that's kind of the value prop. I think just personally, they're not tied in with Fuzzy or anything like that, or Whale Shares or BeyondBit, but I think personally I use them in, side by side with those other two, because I think it looks great to have your BeyondBits or Whale Shares in there and then 60 upvotes or whatever, rather than just 2 upvotes, and that's $60. I think it really kind of spreads it out and makes the post look better, like you have got attention of whales and the general pop. So
Fuzzy asks, to confirm that you get 60 upvotes.
We're adding to it. I thought BTC Venom was going to be in here, but I know I've added SGT, GSG. I'm trying to curate a little bit through there so I can, in turn, help feed some of the authors that I have coming through on the gaming platform. But last I had talked to him, it was at 40, but I know of at least 5 to almost 10 that have probably been added in the last week or so. So I'm thinking it's up to about 50, but BTC Venom is the one who kind of runs that and does all the coding for that. So I would have to get a for sure number from him. But I would guess somewhere between 45 and 55 at this point. So it is growing for those of you who have been hearing about it these few weeks and you're now at the point where it's like, bam, bam, shut up. We've heard this time and time again. So yeah, it's growing. We're getting the delegation. I know there was kind of a lot of issues in the beginning with how it was set up as far as the value prop. It wasn't worth what people were sending in. So I've been really pushing hard to kind of change that around, make it a little less spammy, with the suggested, send a link to this, So I've been really pushing to try and grow it as a, a functioning part of something that people can use in Steemit.
Well, I hope you'll make it all great, man.
I think that's pretty much all I had to, jump in and talk about today. I appreciate you guys' time, and I look forward, Fuzzy, to seeing that paper you're working on. I've got some neat editing skills too, so. But that is good. All for SGT, GSG, and SKILLCoin. Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Bam Bam. So for our next topic, we have sirlunchthehost. Is he available?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Yeah. Just drinking. Sorry. Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey there. Good to hear you.
You know me. No, I'm kidding. What's good, everyone? I am drinking, though. Thank you to the 2 prior projects. It was great listening to you guys. What do I want to talk to you guys about today? Shout out to Mr. Wang. If nobody knows, I met Mr. Wang. That was pretty fun.
Hey.
All right. So basically, you guys know I come here not all the time, but a lot of the times talking about what I do. But this time around, I really wanted to get into detail about it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is vlogging. I've been sitting trying to think of a great way to onboard more vloggers and people vlogging, and not just keep vlogging to myself and cherish it. And at first I thought vlogging class is going to be awesome, and I'm still going to be doing that, but it's not as responsive as I would like. So I'm going to be stepping up my whole vlogging game. And how I'm going to do that is meeting more Steemians. I'm going to make vlogging more interesting, but also more interactive. Let's see. I have traveled 3 different states and met a handful of Steemians, Mr. Wang, Instructor 21, Extraordinary Pilot, Virtual Growth, amongst many, many others. Which kind of leads into the move thing that I'm shooting to. The reason why I'm meeting all these people amongst, because they're awesome, is also because I'm shooting a movie about the blockchain, about Steemit in general, about success and failures. And it's shaping out to be a really, really good movie. Now, the third thing I wanted to talk about is this new podcast I have coming up. It's going to be a controversial podcast. It's not going to be the funny, it might be funny sometimes, but it's not going to be lighthearted. It's going to be tackling a lot of core issues, such as the first episode is going to be talking about racism, and we have What's Up. So I don't know if anyone is familiar with who What's Up is, but we have What's Up, and we have 100 as our special guest with Mackenzie Gary moderating. And just that podcast is going to be tackling all the hard stuff. I actually am hoping to get maybe Fuzzy or someone from that core group to talk about some things in the next podcast. or something to talk about all the conspiracy theories that are floating around and all the bad things that are happening. And I also want to. Oh, somebody was going to say something.
No, I was just wondering if you can give us a little bit of a hint of some of the more controversial topics.
Well, for the last months, I've been digging into like blockchain politics. So we're going to be talking politics, and it's not going to be the politics where we don't name anyone. We're going to be naming people because the politics are happening now, right? So we're going to be talking about the active politics going on. We're going to be talking about scams going on behind the scenes. A bunch of different things. We're also going to be diving deeper into projects, ICOs, and things of that nature, looking at teams and histories and stuff like that, and just digging deep, and talking about the stuff that people really don't want to talk about or they're scared to talk about.
I like it.
Give me 10 seconds. I'm lighting a cigarette. Yo, Compound Films, I know you don't like dead air, so why don't you fill that 10 seconds for me, bro?
Well, I'm just here to salute you, man. I'm just listening, but good work. Congratulations on your podcast. Shout out to Fuzzy with no mic, even though I messaged him, but he doesn't respond. That's cool too. But good job, everyone.
Nice. So now I'm up here because I'm making a pledge to all my fellow Steemians and non-fellow Steemians and Beyond Bit people and EOS Talk, which I hope everyone has seen my EOS Talk sweater. That shit is dope, yo. It's white, has like EOS Talk and gold. It's pretty cool. If you guys take a look around, right? Just sit back and take a look around. You may know a lot of Steemians. I know a lot of Steemians. But do you know a lot of Steemians who are traveling? Actively meaning other Steemians? I would like to say that I'm, one of the few that are actually not just traveling to locations, but actually traveling to meet people. And that is why I would want everyone's support here. And hopefully I can come meet you, because that'll be fun. My goal is to meet 100 Steemians in a year. That might be kind of low considering there's going to be more meetups, so I might raise that number. But for now, it's 100 for the year.
Hey, so Lunch, I do got to give you credit, though. You did come out here to Houston. We salute you for that. Got to give you credit. Thank you.
I mean, a lot of people say, okay, first of all, let me say I'm late, though. So that was, I'm pretty late going to Houston. But again, a lot of people like to say that not a lot of people. Some people like to say that I'm all talk. But if you look at my resume, I've been to different states. And again, I've visited different Steemians, and I want to continue to do this. And I want to do it more. And my big goal here, the end game, is to hold my own conventions and stuff like that. So I'm going to be working on having an EOS convention, hopefully. And yeah. So basically, I just wanted to talk to you guys about the stuff that I'm been doing and all that good stuff, and just update you guys and let you know that I've been traveling and meeting people. And if you guys have a meetup, or if you guys just want to meet, let me know, reach out to me. And as long as you don't have a problem with me, vlogging about it, we're all good to go. And if you guys want to be involved in the movie, let me know as well. I'll end shooting that at the end of the year. So let me know.
How do people support you?
Well, there's many ways. You can upvote, you can re-steam, and you can follow. Those are like the basic ways, right? So I tell people who don't have a lot of money, hey man, a follow is like $100 to me. And if you keep following, it just turn it to 1,000. I know it's hard for certain people to re-steam. So I say, if you re-steam, that's another salute to me, because it's not always about money. Now, I forgot the third one. Upvote, follow, re-steam. Oh yeah, those three. Now, for the people who have money, I'm just going to be out there. If you're thinking about investing money and stuff like that, also come to me with a value proposition. What? That's crazy. What I mean by that is, if you don't just come and say, I want to give you money, right? Come to me and say, I want to give you money, and can maybe you talk about this, or maybe could you wear this shirt and we could work something out. I'm not in the business of just taking investments for no reason. And I don't just take investments from anyone anymore. I'm very wise about who I take investments from. And I do this because I realize that I do have somewhat of a following, and they're going to be a cult following. Right, they're going to be really weird people, and I realize that they're not just like a following, they're going to be friends, and we're going to conversate. So I want to make sure that anything that I'm displaying or portraying is something that I'm cool with my people also getting into, and things like that. So yeah.
So if I can ask something, I'm watching you for a while, but I see a lot of announcement and like sneak previews, but I never see the whole thing. Am I missing something? Do I have to look better, or?
You mean for the movie?
No, I mean like your meetings and stuff like that.
Well, what meetings?
Well, you saw you were in Houston, so you're still going to show what you did there, because it was just like a sneak preview, right? The music was great though, but didn't see much like happening.
Oh yeah, well, see how I do things. My vlogs it's kind of complicated, right? So I have the movie and then I have my travel vlogs. So the travel vlogs are kind of like behind the scenes of the movie. And the reason why I don't show a bunch of stuff is a lot of the footage I'm gathering is actually for the overall movie. So the vlog is kind of like the following of me shooting the movie and the stuff that I'm getting into. And then again, I'm going to wrap up like shooting the movie the end of the year, beginning of next year. And then that's when I'll be turning it into a web series.
That makes sense then. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, anyone?
Well, if you don't mind talking about the web series, are you thinking about different considerations for how to monetize it? If you are thinking about it.
Well, how I do things is I get donations and investments up front, and then all the content that I release is kind of just free. And if I get like good upvotes and posts from then, awesome. If not, I kind of just try to get the money beforehand. And even if I can't get the money beforehand, I still try to create the content and then just make up for the money in the post or whatever. But most of the time, it's I get the investment beforehand. That way, the content, when I do release it, it's all free, and then I don't have to worry about making money or things like that.
Makes sense.
Any other questions, anyone?
Do you need transcripts? No.
Nice. Yo, shout out to Taco, great host. Shout out to Fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Not hearing you, but hearing you is awesome, if you get what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, I take all tokens, all donations. And if you guys also watch me, I also like to give back to a lot of people. But yeah, if you guys have a token that you guys want me to like talk about, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're shilling shit, whatever, I don't care. Shilling is a matter of opinion, I guess, because if you like me, I'm helping you out. If you don't like me, I guess I'm shilling for someone else, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you guys have tokens and stuff like that, just let me know. We'll go over it. We'll talk about it. You know, I'll do my due diligence and research. And if it's something that we can work together on, I am all for it. Because in this space, there's a lot of nerds and there's a lot of coders and there's not a lot of entertainers and brand representatives and brand ambassadors. And that's what I'm trying to be. And that's what I am. And yeah, and I just want to get other people's brand out there and get them more exposure.
And I think there's nothing wrong with promotion. And I suppose the one concern there can be is like if you're getting paid and people don't know about that. But if it's all out in the open, I don't see what anybody would have any objection about.
True. And everyone that's given me money, I've always been forth about it in like my posts and my videos and things like that. And at the end of the day, it's just I'm using the platform that I'm building and the brand that I'm building to help other people, right? So if people are watching my videos and I can shout out a project or give some kind of praise to someone or whatever, and they can get some followers and some upvotes from it, shit, I did my job and I got paid for it. So it seems like the best job in the world to me.
Love it.
I love how you make it real. It's really nice to see the people in action, and I like to see it. Yeah.
I will say though, it's a lot of people think that it's fun, but it's hard. You know what I mean? When you got to make decisions between funding and like paying your bills. But at the end of the day, if you just decide to go with what you love to do, man, it works itself out. And even if it doesn't, for instance, I'll be real. The Texas situation kind of put me in a bind, right? But I still went on a one-way ticket, and it was still one of the best decisions I made because I got to meet Instructor 21. I got to meet Mr. Wang. We got to hang out. It was a fun time. So at the end of the day, even if funding doesn't work out, yo, everything still works out. And if it doesn't, just look back and be like, yo, I had a great fucking time doing it.
Yeah, you need like an insurance or something, a crypto insurance.
That's true. And I mean, being on Steam and having some good friends and people willing to help you out is also nice. I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't have a lot of good friends and a lot of people in better positions than me to help me out, I'd probably be in a worse position. But you know, it worked itself out. And I want to encourage everyone: if you're going to become a vlogger, blogger, entertainer, anything, do not be afraid to ask your friends for help. That is what they're there for, as an entertainer. You make them laugh, they give you money. Smile. So if there's any questions, ask them. How you can reach out to me is on Discord, sirlunchthehost, on Steemit, sirlunchthehost. And if you have a pigeon, you tie a note to their leg and you throw it out, and they'll get to me in about 3 to 4 weeks, and I'll respond.
Can't wait till somebody tries that.
Right? Wait, hold on. How much time do I have?
You still have about 2 minutes.
Sweet. Okay, so writing out a show, like I'm shooting a show. I don't know if you guys have seen the studio I'm in, but I'm also be shooting a show, 2 shows. Now, the first show I'm going to be shooting is like real world for the blockchain. So I'm going to get people off the blockchain, get them in a house, record it 24 hours for only 2 weeks. And yeah, so that's going to be awesome. And the second one I'm working on is one just like a personal one with like a green screen and shit like that. So yeah, big things coming in the next 3 to 4 months.
Wait, can you repeat? What was the second show?
It's just going to be me being crazy in my blonde wig and a green screen. Doing some crazy stuff. So it's going to be a mixture between stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and just bullshit.
All right. That's good.
And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, you guys know how to contact me, and I hope you guys all support me. Thank you. And I look forward to talking to anyone who wants to reach out to me and working with me in the future. And if Mark is here, sorry, I told you that I was going to talk to you like 3 weeks ago, and it's been like 3 weeks. So I'm going to get around to that.
Well, thanks very much, Sir Lunch.
Thank you.
And speaking of Mark, I think we will be speaking with him now for the next project, which is Project BuildAWhale.
How's it going, guys? I'm not going to cover too much about BuildAWhale because I think you guys already know it, but we are a bidding bot and a curation effort, so there's that. The next thing I want to talk about is Pre-Vote Club, which is something we just started. It's similar to Booster's Frontrunner Guild, and it allows you to get a vote in before we vote, so it's kind of like a guaranteed curation rewards. So you would sign up, and then you can connect to our club, and what we do is whenever we get a bid in for a vote, we'll fire off all the votes for anybody that's in the club, and they'll go in and vote, and they'll be right in front of our vote, which right now we have about a $48 vote, considering adding another 500,000 Steam power to it, which will bring it close to 100. So that's pretty large curation.
And that's for one post or the whole week?
What it does is you would just sign up to the club, and then anytime we get bids coming in, anybody that's over 90% voting power will go in and vote automatically, and then they would be in front of our vote, which will land at anywhere from 2 hours to 40 minutes to 5 minutes or even 1 minute, depending on where in line of the bidding window it's in. And then they'll basically get hit. Yeah, it's like a pre-trail. But basically what it is it does 2 things. First, it allows people that aren't good curators or don't have the time to curate to get curation rewards. And then it also helps people that bid for BuildAWhale to get additional votes and more value for their bid, basically. So somebody might bid $1 for BuildAWhale and then for maybe another 20 cents. But all those people that did that will get curation rewards for our vote when we hit it down for $1.50 or whatever our vote is. I'm going to skip over to Witness, and then I'll just open it up for questions because I don't really have a lot much to say. We do have some big announcement coming. It won't be till next week, but it's going to really change the game quite a bit. It should be really interesting. Witness, again, I'm a witness. If you're not voting for witnesses, you should be. I'm not asking you to vote for me, just saying you should vote for somebody. You have 30 slots. You can change them as you want. And witnesses are the ones that stabilize the blockchain and make sure it's running. And if you noticed, Steam has been unstable lately for quite a while now, and it's getting worse. But the entire time, all our witnesses are. So the blockchain is not Steemit. Blockchain stabilized independently, and that's why when Steemit goes to crap, your wallet's not disappeared, or you can go to busy.org and be 100% functional, or Steemit stage, which they locked down. But all that stuff is because the blockchain is not Steemit. That's a totally different thing, and us witnesses work on keeping that stable. We also released a full node recently, a few days ago, under Build Team. So that's available. A lot of people are starting to use it. We had about 3 hours backlog on MinoBooster. The moment we put the full node in, about 15 minutes later, we were all caught up. So that makes a big deal for the network. So I was just going to leave it open for everyone else. I didn't have a lot to say. I just wanted to jump in and bring up those things and let people ask questions if they had anything, because the pre-vote thing's a little complicated, I think, for some people. So I'll leave it open for anyone that wants to ask questions.
So I have two kind of newbie questions, but if anybody else has more advanced questions, I'd like them to go first. So first, newbie question, since you brought up the witness here at the end. So what distinguishes one Steem witness from another?
I think it's what they're doing. Basically, you have witnesses that are AFK and not doing anything and just collecting a paycheck. And to be honest, the paycheck's not very good. You have witnesses like Jerry Banfield, which are basically buying $2,000 worth of votes from all the whales and then getting pushed up by Steemit Inc. to 29th spot. And then he's selling a witness course for $180. That's just free information that's out there available already. And then he's not supporting the people. And then they show up in the witness panel asking for help because they have no clue what they're doing. And he's promoting it like, oh, witnesses are, top 20 witnesses make 250 Steem a day. You want to be a top witness and whatnot. And most people are never going to even get in the top 100. Most people shouldn't even be a witness because you need to be technical. You need to understand how to do it. It's a lot of sysadmin is what a witness is. And a lot of people going in there, they don't even know what Linux is, let alone how to run it and everything like that. So that's a problem. You have people promoting snake oil, and unfortunately that's popular. So yeah, he's 27th, and that's because Dan gave 2 major votes to him under Freedom and Pumpkin and got him up to the 29th spot almost instantly. Which, to be honest, that's not a huge deal. I mean, that's only about $1,900 a month. I mean, that's a lot of money, but it's not like amazing, outstanding money considering the work involved and stuff like that. So being a witness is not a major profit center.
Right. The second question, well, just to wrap up on the witness part. So I guess there are kind of bonuses or perks that some witnesses provide, and that's why they get their support?
I think witnesses think they have to do a project, and that's the big thing. Like, all the witnesses will do something, and I think it's mainly for exposure. I mean, some people don't like that witnesses go off and do all these projects, but I think the main reason is to do things that get exposure and also to help steam it, but a lot of them are just mainly to get exposure. Starts that way and then end up being something different.
Okay. All right. So then my second question, also a newbie question. I get confused personally about the different curation groups that are available that we've been kind of chatting about today. And so perhaps you can give me an idea about what distinguishes one group from another.
There's 3 major ones that I know of. There's Curie, there's OCD, and then there's also the BuildAWhale Curation Digest. Curie goes around and helps people that are under, I believe it's 52 rep, and gives them almost $100 vote. And that's only once you're a new Steemian. After that point, they basically stop doing that. OCD goes around forever. They have their own digest. We're mostly modeled after the OCD model, where they put in 7 or 8 posts each day, and they go out and they push that out there, and they give a reward to people that have been curated. We follow the same model, with the one exception is we do 5 a day, and we pull them from anybody that's a customer of ours, and we curate off of that. And that's to kind of reward people to send us good content, not just the spam content that Steemians love to post. So we're trying to change things by offering something better and offering a reward. And that's where our new announcement's going to come, where there's going to be a major reward for being in our digest. And it's going to change the game quite a bit, I think.
Okay, that was good. That was helpful for me. So then how does pre-vote fit in with this?
Pre-vote is a way of getting people to benefit from just curating for free. It's basically you sign up and then you get curation rewards. So a lot of people don't use their voting power properly. They don't go through 20% a day. They don't find good posts to curate on. If you're at 500 steam power to 1,000 steam power, usually you're not getting pretty much anything. So this allows you to do that on autopilot, but it also rewards people that bid on BuildAWhale to get more votes. So, for example, Booster has over 500 people that are in their front run guild. So when you sign up for Booster and do a bid, you don't always become profitable, but there's follow-up votes that come in and will sometimes tip you over to the profitability, or if you're in the profitability range, you'll get more votes for it.
Okay.
Does anyone else have a question? If not, one of the things I'm talking about right now is getting another 500,000 Steem behind BuildAWhale. So that'll bring us up to 1 million. So we've been doubling pretty much every time we come on here. We started at 20,000, we went to 32,000, then 50,000, then 217,000, and then now we're at 470,000. So another 500 would get us right next to 1 million. So that's one of the things we're doing. We're seriously considering. I haven't pulled the trigger on it because I'm already paying $12,000-$13,000 a month for what I have now. And unfortunately, BuildAWhale is not Booster. It's not Belly Rub where we get Steam Power for free. We're competing against giants that have basically rigged the game already. We lost the game before we walked in the door because I'm paying for everything I pay for, and it's at a loss, whereas all the other ones have free Steam Power. And it just makes it tough. But the only way for me to grow further is to grow with Steam Power and just keep getting more and more. And at some point, we'll get to the point where we're profitable and it's worth it. So right now, the bidding windows have been getting really busy. We had a pretty slow start where we were doing good. We had a lot of loyal customers, but it just wasn't breaking even. And we're getting closer. And the last week has made a big difference. Monday, right when I sent 2,000 Steam to renew our lease, Steam was down for like 4 hours or something like that. And I was like, gosh, we're screwed. It's just not even worth it at this point. But ever since that time, those bidding windows went up and everything's been looking good. So I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to understand what's going on, but that's what we're at right now.
We have one other question here from Fuzzy. And it was regarding whether you had gotten a better deal on the SP.
Yes, I have a better deal. It still sucks, but that's because whales want to make a fortune, and there's no way around it. There's no reason they want to do anything else. But it's at the point where I have a lot more breathing room. The way I explain it is people bidding for BuildAWhale don't have to get screwed for me to make money. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet where I'm making money, but we're getting really close now. And this week may be a good one where our curation rewards have gone up quite a bit, which will help a lot too as well. So
nice.
Another thing is I'm working with Build Team, which is, if everyone doesn't know who that is, that's Minnow Booster, and it's also Steam Voter. One thing you can do if you want is to go into Steam Voter and put BuildAWhale in there to auto vote on our Curation Digest, and that'll help us a lot by getting more votes and growing that so we can pay our curators and get more things. Like one of the things we're looking at doing is expanding out into other markets. For example, having a Spanish digest that instead of just translating the Spanish, we're actually curating Spanish content in Spanish, also hitting up Chinese, Korean, and some of the other big areas. So that's something we're trying to do, but we need to grow the digest so we have enough money to give to the curators so it's worth their time to do. So if you have Steam Voter or you don't have it yet and you want to set up and add us in there, that would be awesome. We post every day. Once a day we post our digest Monday through Friday. I'm looking at trying to get that to 7 days, but on the weekend right now we're doing a contest. So any of those will help pay our curators to allow us to grow. Yeah, Friskin. I don't really know him, but I know he runs Booster. So anything you could do, like if you can go to Steam Voter and plug in BuildAWhale for our digest and vote on those daily, that'd be awesome. If you're not familiar with Steam Voter, basically you put in your posting key and you log in and say, okay, these are the people I want to vote for, and it just auto votes for them. You set the time if you want to vote for in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes after the post, and that's it. If you want to reach me, you can reach me on Discord, Steemit chat, in both of them. Everyone knows where to find me. I do have a token. I have the marker. I announced that last week, and that's for trade-in for a sponsored post.
Well, thanks very much, and I think we've reached our time. So I'm going to have to cut off Fuzzy because he's going on again. And I appreciate all our speakers today. And so that wraps up our 4 topics for today, and I hope everyone has a good week, and see you again next week for the next Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank.
You've been listening to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. As a reminder, be sure to follow the Beyond Bitcoin tag on Steemit, as well as our Hangout host Official Fuzzy for the latest Whaletank updates. From all of us here at the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank, we want to thank you for being a part of the discussion.